you for coming. Welcome to the library. I would like to introduce Mr. David Fortune from Fortune & Associates. Mr. Fortune spent 40 years as a financial planner in Southern California. While there, his clients were individuals and small businesses. He helped with planning for their financial future. He moved here 3 years ago with his wife Janet, who was born and raised in Athens. And since moving to the area, he's changed his focus to work with seniors to help them cope with their retirement concerns. So, please join me in welcoming him.
Thank you, Tiffany. Okay.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm sorry, we know David here. Your name is?
Tanya.
Connie?
Tanya.
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 Yeah, a lot of people think it's Tanya.
Okay, good. Well, let's see. We'll start with this, but I think you already know this. So that is who I am. And my motto, since I'm working with seniors, is helping seniors achieve a comfortable and less stressful, and that should have been together, retirement.
Sounds good.
At any rate, I think that's a pretty good goal. And I'm going to skip over these first 2 pages here. And I'll start with happy birthday. Social Security just had an 80th birthday. When FDR signed it in 1935. It's 2015, so, and it's referred to, and I believe it is, America's most important retirement asset. The 63 million people received benefits in 2014, and retired workers and dependents were 70%, disabled and other dependents 19%, and survivors 11%. So that's pretty significant when we think about it, 63 million people in 80 years. Medicare and Medicaid also celebrated a birthday. Big birthday month, 25th anniversary from the time LBJ signed into law, Medicare and Medicaid. So I'm going to move over here. Walt is our videographer, and he's videoing this. But anyway, can you see me okay? Or
Yes, I can.
that side?
Nope, you're good.
Okay, so at any rate, what is, oftentimes people confuse Medicare and Medicaid as to what it is. Anybody here getting Medicare? Okay, Walt is. Medicare is a universal health insurance program for people 65 or older, or certain disabled people, younger people with disabilities. Medicaid is essentially a welfare program. The federal government helps the states to pay for medical care for 71.6 million people. Wow. Including 30 million children. And totally Medicare and Medicaid, after we take some duplications out, service 115 million people out of a population of 325 million. So that's a pretty significant thing. So if people tell you that, the government doesn't do anything, Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid do a lot of things. Now, this is just something from the official Social Security rules. Social Security employees can provide information, but they cannot offer advice. Kind of interesting. As for me, I'm not from the government, and I'm here to help. Okay, let's talk about Social Security benefits. What kind of benefits does Social Security provide? Retirement benefits, spousal benefits, if caring for an eligible child, child benefits for young children and retirees, child benefits for disabled children and retirees, divorce and spousal benefits. So there's a lot of benefits that a lot of people aren't aware of. If you're divorced, can you collect against your ex-spouse? Well, we'll find out, yes, you can. Now, the greatest danger today is outliving your savings. With medical science, we're just living longer. And we've got some interesting numbers on life expectancy. So when Social Security first came out, they picked 65. That was kind of arbitrary, but it's also because people didn't live much longer than 65, so it looked like a pretty solid bet. 80 years later, we're beginning to wonder that. So, what's the solution to outliving your savings? Be patient. That's not something that I'm really famous for, but be patient, because If you are patient, your benefits could be, as we say, much bigger if you wait. 3 general rules to maximize your retirement benefits. 1, be patient. They're also redundant. But wait to collect as long as possible. And we'll see you can collect as early as 62. But whether or not that's a good idea remains to be seen. Get all of what's yours. Take all the benefits available to you based on your work history of your current spouse. And rule number 3, get the timing right. Collect one benefit early while letting the others grow. So you can do some interesting things with Social Security because you do have some control over it. Here's a Social Security timeline. Age 60, a surviving widow can get a reduced benefit. So if you're a widow, you turn 60, you can get a reduced benefit against your dead spouse's earnings. If you're 62 and you have accumulated retirement benefits, you can take your own retirement at 62, but there's a 25% reduction in the benefit you'll receive. And we'll look at some numbers in a few minutes here. Or you can take a spousal benefit, but the reduction there is 30%. So you can take your own retirement, you can take the spousal benefit. 65, and this is a little bit away from Social Security, but I want to point out Medicare here. If you're 65, you're eligible for Medicare. Part A is automatic. Part B, you must enroll. 66 is now the full retirement age for Social Security. For those people that were born between 1943 and 1954. The maximum retirement age, and we say maximum retirement age, we mean at age 70, if you're going to collect Social Security, it doesn't, you can wait till then, but then you should start collecting, because waiting longer won't increase your benefits. But at age 66, when you have a full retirement benefit, if you don't take it, it will grow, as we'll see, by 8% a year. So in 4 years, from 66 to 70, your benefit will grow by 32%. Now, I don't know where you have your money these days, but there's nobody paying you 8%, let me tell you that. So that's the federal government that's paying you that. So we know it's pretty safe. Okay, this is kind of an interesting statistic. When do people actually file for Social Security benefits? And we see that we don't have recent statistics, but you can see from 2010 to 2012, at age 62, which is early retirement, about 40% of the people filed. And we'll see that cost them money. Then at age 66, it's only in the teens that men file. Women, even lower, 11, 12, 12%. They're higher here, filing early. At 70, which is going to give you maximum benefits, 1% of men file, and 2% of women. And we'll see that can cost them thousands of dollars. And his disability income, and you can see, that's in the low teens, 13, 14, 16%, and also one of the most abused areas. Okay, we're going to take a few things here, and we're going to look at them. Claiming retirement. We're going to use a couple of terms. PIA is principal insurance amount. This is the government. You use initials. Principal insurance amount is also equal to your full retirement benefit. Full retirement benefit is at 66. So we're going to assume that somebody qualifies for $1,000 a month. Full retirement is 66. Benefit, they get $1,000 a month. If they claim early, which they can at age 62, they're going to have a reduction. 62 is 25% reduction. So instead of getting $1,000 a month, you can collect early, but you're only going to get $750 a month. And it goes up each year. Each year you wait, you get a little bit more. Until 66, again, at full retirement age. You can delay your benefits. You don't have to take them at 66. Take them 67, 68, 69, 70. Remember, we said you don't want to wait beyond 70 because you're not getting any better. But look at age 67, 8% increase instead of 1,000, 1,080, until we get down to age 70, get a 32% increase. It's 8% a year, and now you get $1,320. So let's look at this for a minute. If you wait to 66, you're going to get $1,000. If you take it early at 62, you're going to take a haircut of 25%, so you're only going to get $750 a month. But if you wait to age 70, you're going to get $1,320 a month. So you can see, by waiting, you certainly increase your benefits. Spousal benefits. You married? Are you married now? Either one of you?
Not presently.
Not present, but you're married now. Okay. Maybe your wife is deceased or divorced or whatever, we'll get into that. But there are spousal benefits. So, let's say this doesn't happen so much anymore, but when I was growing up, and probably when you were growing up, many times the spouse didn't work, stayed in the home, raised the children, so I didn't have any benefits because she didn't have any earnings. But she can collect, she or he can collect on the record of the spouse. There's certain requirements. They must have been married at least a year. The non-qualifying spouse at the FRA is full retirement age or later receives, okay, looks like we missed something there. Receives a percentage of spouse, well, she receives a percentage of the spouse's full retirement benefit. And she can file at age 62, but again, you're going to get reduced benefits if you file before 66. Let's say both spouses had earnings, they both qualify for Social Security benefits, and they can either take their own benefits or take 1/2 of the spouse's benefit. So, if you were married, didn't work, you can take 1/2 of your spouse's benefit, or if you both worked, you can either take your own benefit or 1/2 of the spouse's benefit. So there's a spousal benefit there. Survivor benefits. A widow can collect benefits. So if you're a widow or a widower, you can receive benefits at age 60. You can begin anytime between 60 and full retirement age, which is 66. And if both retirees are over 62, you can switch over from survivor benefits to spousal benefits at 62. So you can make a lot of changes here. Now, this really gets intriguing. This really gets intriguing. We call it file and suspend. We got a married couple, and Archie and Betty, you may have heard of them. Archie's 66, Betty's 63. The PIA was the principal insurance amount, which is the full retirement at 66. Archie's entitled to $2,000 a month, and Betty's entitled to $800 a month. Betty can file for reduced benefit, and then at 63, so she can file under her own for reduced benefit at 62. That's 25% reduction from 800, or she would get $600 a month. This is at 62. At 63, she can file for spousal benefit. And the difference is between 1/2 of Archie's PIA, which is $2,000 or $1,000, less her benefit, which is $800. It's reduced by $200. And because she's filing at 63, she's going to get $150, and plus her $600, she will get $750. But Archie is not collecting. He's filing at 66. He's suspending his benefits. He's going to let them grow 8% a year. So instead of $2,000 a month, when Archie turns 70, he's going to get $2,640 a month. So what do we have here? We have a married couple. Betty could take her own, but if she takes early, She has a couple of options: to take early, get a reduction of $600, then file for spousal benefit at 63, and then she get a boost to $750. So she's collecting all these years. Archie can still work, accumulate, wages, build his Social Security, and also he's going to get an 8% increase each year. So this $2,000 a month goes to $2,640. Yes.
Now, why does Betty have to wait till she's 63 to apply for his benefit?
Well, because
Or does she have to?
she has to wait till then. She's filing here at 62, but at 63 she can then file for spousal benefit. So that's the way that works. Now, this is kind of a similar thing. We have two different people here now, Jughead and Veronica. You may remember them. Jughead 66, his principal insurance amount is $2,000. Veronica's 63, pretty similar to the last one. Same kind of numbers, except for Veronica at 62, she's filing for her own reduced benefit, which is 25% less, 25% less $800 or $600. Veronica's getting $600. Jughead, again, as in the previous example, he files for benefits, but he restricts them, and he's going to take spousal benefits this time. He's going to take benefits against her work earnings. So he can get half of Veronica's benefit, which that's a full retirement age benefit, $800 or $400, and his benefits will again accumulate 8% a year. So the $2,000 that he was going to get at age 70, he's going to get $2,640. So you can take your own benefit, you can take and restrict your benefit and let it continue to grow, which allows you to work if you want, accumulate more earnings, or and you can, a lot of people don't think, well, that's it, but you can also take spousal benefits if you're not taking under your own, and yours grows in the meantime. How about a combination? So, a couple other people we may remember, Clark and Lois. Well, they're both 66. Clark is 66, he's going to file and suspend. Lois is 66, she'll file for spousal benefit, which is 1/2 of Clark's. He was going to get $2,000, she's not going to get $1,000. Clark, at 70, he files for his own benefit, 2,000 times 32%, he's going to get $2,640. Now, this is kind of interesting, Lois, because she was collecting the spousal benefit, her benefit is going to continue to grow, because she's not collecting under her own. So, she files for her own benefit, which was $1,800 at 66, which has now grown by 32% to $2,376. So you can see, a lot of money can be left on the table if you don't know what to do. How about survivor benefits for married couples? Okay, again, in this case, Clark and Lois, again, different example. They're both 66. Clark passes away at 66. Lois can now collect 100% of his benefit because they're both 66. So she will collect $2,000, better than her $1,800, that's for sure. Lois at 70, remember she's collecting now a spousal benefit at 66. She has her own benefit, remember, which is $1,800 a month, but she's not collecting on it her own, so it's growing by 8% a year. Lois at age 70 can switch from the spousal benefit of $2,000 to her own benefit and collect $2,376. So there's a lot of money there. Okay. Divorced spouse. Okay. We run out of comic characters, so we've got to use some imagined people here. Kelly and Dan. Kelly's 62, and and Dan is 66. Kelly never worked, so she doesn't have anything. Dan did work, he's got $2,000 a month. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for Kelly and Dan. So, if Kelly meets all the criteria, she may collect divorced spouse's benefit, even though she never worked and that doesn't have any earnings. So, what are the requirements? You gotta be married at least 10 years. Now, if you're reading the paper, and I get the name, I'm not a celebrity type, but Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner are getting a divorce. They filed for divorce after 10 years of marriage. So they don't need the money, because I think she's got 25 million, he's got 45 million. But let's say they didn't have that. They filed for divorce, we'll see if they get it, but they've been married 10 years, so they would, you know, she would qualify here. Let's see what else. You have to be 62 or older and unmarried. So if you get a divorce, and you're thinking of Social Security, don't run out and marry your sweetheart, because you might blow this whole thing. This is good, it has no effect on the other spouse. I was reading in the paper today, some woman in Dear Abby or something like that said, can my spouse, her ex-husband, file and get divorce benefits under my earnings, because I don't want this blankety blank to get anything. So, you don't have any choice, lady. If he qualifies, he's going to get it. But it's not going to affect you. So other than, you know, being mad about it, if divorced for at least 2 years, and if both spouses are at least 62, divorced spouse can get benefits if other spouse is not retired. Okay, and you say, well, that's kind of a strange, if divorced at least 2 years. Wonder why that came about. I don't really know, but I think this is how it came about. Social Security didn't want people to get married just to get Social Security. So they said, if in the last 2 years, you probably have some permanence about you. So at any rate, so in this case, Dan's PIA is $2,000. Half of that is $1,000, and she's going to take it early at 62 because she's 62. It'll be reduced, in this case, 30%, so she would get reduced by $300. She'd get $700, so she never worked. She's collecting against his. It's reduced because she's collecting early at 62, but she's got $700 coming. And Dan is none the wiser. And it's not affecting him anyways.
Oh, okay.
Now.
Trying to read the bottom.
Oh, yeah, sorry, we kind of got out of
They
space.
both have to be 62 years old, at least.
Yeah. You have to be at least 62. Okay? All right, so at any rate, we can see now you can take your own benefits. You can take them early, 62. Take them later at 70. If you wait, you're going to get more money. If you, you can take a spousal benefit. If it's greater than yours, that's good. If you're divorced, you can even get benefits, even if you never worked. As long as you stay with this guy or gal 10 years. Okay, so, survivor benefits. What if you're divorced and your ex-spouse dies? Jeff is 64, Cheryl's 60. Jeff's principal insurance amount, or his benefit, is $2,500 a month. Cheryl never worked. Jeff recently died. He had already been, I think, receiving his retirement benefit. Cheryl can file for survivor benefits because Cheryl is under her full retirement age of 66. Her benefit's going to be reduced, in this case by 28.5%. So instead of getting $2,500 a month, she's getting $1,788. But remember, she's been divorced from this guy. She qualifies under the qualifications. She's now collecting a survivor benefits. That's not a bad deal. And that, folks, is kind of the end of the presentation. So we'll come back, and there I am. comfortable and less stressful retirement. Now, do you have any questions?
Oh, you're right, the presentation answered it.
Okay, so you can see, Social Security is pretty magic when you know the rules. David, do you have any questions? I know we hit a lot.
Do you know how that works in conjunction with workers' comp?
In conjunction with workers' comp, you know, I'm not familiar with workers' comp, I'm familiar with disability.
Yeah.
And disability, when you reach full retirement age, flips over into your, so we're talking about workers' comp, where you're injured on the job and you're getting compensation,
Yeah.
or, so we're talking about workers' comp and not disability insurance.
See, what happened was, I deliver mail, and I went through a porch and smashed my knee, fractured my knee
All right.
quite a pieces. So they had to do a knee replacement. And I couldn't get back out on the street with the knee replacement. I'm working inside part-time, but I'm getting workers' compensation for the hours that I'm not working.
All right, so they're making up for the hours
Yes.
that you,
Yes.
yeah.
But in the meantime, the union filed for Social Security disability for it.
Okay,
And they approved full disability for me for that.
okay.
But I don't wanna do that, I wanna do work. So I've been working, at the post office, and Social Security is paying a disability, a partial, and I'm getting partial workers' comp.
Okay, but the Social Security, I can't talk to workers' comp. I'll check on that for you. But Social Security disability will end, how old are you now?
I'll be 61 in November.
Okay, will end at 66,
Uh-huh.
and you'll flip over to whatever your Social Security benefit is at that point in time.
Yeah.
I wonder if you couldn't get a lump sum settlement. Do you have an
Well,
attorney?
Well, no, I don't, but see, here's what it is. When I did my income tax this past winter,
Mhm.
the H&R Block lady was astounded that I had to pay tax on workers' comp. And she did research and she said it was because I was getting a partial disability from Social Security. So,
Well, the Social Security disability would not be taxable. That's,
yeah, but the workers' comp.
okay.
But together they are.
How-
That's because I paid the taxes on both of them.
Well, Social Security disability shouldn't be taxable, so you
Well,
should,
that's what she said too, but when she researched it with, in conjunction, if you're getting paid workers' comp, it's taxable. I had to pay tax on it.
on the Social Security disability?
Yeah.
I'm not at all sure, I do income taxes too, I'm not at all sure that's correct. Because I've often said Social Security disability is not taxable.
But see, here's my dilemma. Now, through the workers' comp program, they consider that, permanent injury,
All right?
and they will pay what they call a schedule award.
Okay, that's what I'm saying, could you get a lump
Yeah.
sum? Yeah.
And it could vary from 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, whatever, I don't know what it would be. But since I'm getting that partial Social Security disability, I have to pay taxes on whatever that award is.
Well, you're probably gonna have to pay taxes on it anyway.
But I wouldn't if I wasn't getting that Social Security disability.
I don't know, I tell you.
According to the,
I'll tell you what I will do, I'll be happy to research it for you, I'll give you my card.
okay,
You give me a call, we'll get together.
sure.
I want to see your last year's tax return to see what H&R
Okay.
Block did,
Yeah, sure.
and we'll see. I don't know that I wholly agree with that, but again, without seeing it, I
Right.
couldn't comment any further.
But, you know, I'm thinking about, well, I was thinking maybe I won't do it now watching this, but I was thinking about retiring soon. Either 60, see, the post office, like I could go now because I have so much time in. And they would give you what they call a bridge between my age to 62 retirement. Or I could just say, the heck with the bridge, and I could just go on full disability, Social Security. Or see, that's what I don't understand.
Well, what you'd have to do, and this is where we come in, because we can also get all these figures on various options that you have,
Right,
and say, okay, if you did this at 62, this is what
Yeah.
you would get. If you did at 66, this is what you'd get.
yeah.
And, you know, because we have the software available to do that.
So you could research the exact amount, what you would get?
Well, according to the software,
Pretty
yeah,
close,
which is pretty
yeah.
accurate,
Yeah,
yeah, which is
yeah.
pretty accurate.
Okay.
But in your case, you might want to give some, and it's just, again, it also becomes a tax issue,
Yeah.
which I will talk about in a minute, which isn't in this presentation. Because my first inclination is, gee, you ought to take the lump sum.
Right,
You ought to take the lump sum, stay on social security disability, if you can. And then, depending on, I don't know, I'm not familiar with the postal service, how it works. So it's no longer an arm of the federal government, is that right?
well, so they say, yeah,
Yeah, but, so, do they withhold FICA from you?
yeah,
Okay, so
yeah.
you're accumulating social security benefits.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
See, in the 84, 83, 2, I can't remember, they ended civil service.
okay,
And if you weren't grandfathered in by that date, which I wasn't, you become a new employee under a federal employee retirement,
Okay.
FERS they call
okay, under the PERS, okay, but you also have a retirement under PERS, do you accumulate any retirement there?
it. Yes,
Okay, so you got several sources of income.
yes,
You get PERS, you get workers' comp, you get social security disability,
yeah,
and possibly at some point, and we know at some point in time, social
right,
security.
right,
So you're in a good position, except that you don't know the numbers.
you're right,
And we can help you with that, we can get the numbers. First, yeah, give me a call, we'll set up something. I would wanna see your last year's tax return, to
Sure.
research that thing on the taxes to make sure. And then, if you can find out what you might get in terms of the lump sum, that would also be helpful.
yeah, I don't know,
Okay, we can do some hypotheticals.
yeah. See, I was just kind of following along with, we have a postal union, a national union, NAFC. And I was just kind of following along what they were telling me to do, but,
Well, and nothing wrong with that, but except, like we say with the doctors, the doctor says, well, you go to the surgeon, he says, we gotta operate.
yeah,
Well, that's what he does.
yeah, right, exactly.
You go to the other guy, he said, well, maybe we
wait a
can treat
while,
this
yeah.
with drugs or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we don't have to rip your
Yeah,
chest open and get at the
Yeah.
heart, maybe we can put a stent in, maybe that's a
Yeah.
better deal.
well, I didn't have any choice about the
Yeah,
hearing
yeah.
place.
So we can get your second opinion, and then
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can make your judgment.
yeah, and see, from what I understand, I'm on Medicare also, but I've never used it or never paid the Part B of it, because I'm paying health insurance at work.
Yeah, okay, well, if you have what they call a comparable insurance coverage, you don't
Right.
have to
Right,
have Medicare. That can get tricky too, when people sometimes are let go by their employer, they can go out and continue and get what we call COBRA, which is equivalent to the coverage you had, but very expensive.
I see, yeah,
And some people think, well, gee, I've got COBRA, so I don't have to get Medicare Part B, even though I qualify.
right,
Wrong. Medicare Part B is your primary over COBRA, and COBRA can not pay, and you end up with big bills, so it's kind of tricky stuff.
well, if you're eligible for Medicare, you'd be better off just taking out a Part B, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you could, but a lot of people think, well, I've got COBRA, so I don't need Part B,
Need it,
see?
yeah.
And it's a tricky thing.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, Tanya,
Yeah,
did you have any other questions?
I did.
All right.
One was, well, is there like a top out rate on social security? Like, well, let's say Ben Affleck and Jennifer. You were talking about, like, say Ben Affleck being a millionaire. Is there a top out amount? like,
Maximum benefit.
Maximum
Yeah,
benefit?
absolutely, and that's, depends on what, I think it's, I wanna say 2680 or something like that. But the max benefit is whatever anybody, from the time they're first collecting, if they collected at the maximum FICA amount, which is now like $118,000, then that's the maximum that anybody can get. So yes, there is a maximum. And I want to say $2,680, but that may be wrong. So there is a maximum though, yeah. But I did want to, you have any other questions? Because I have a couple of things I didn't
Oh,
mention
okay.
here.
Okay, so if you're a stay-at-home mom you don't work,
All right, and which we've
The
had a couple of
spouse-
examples
the
here.
spouse does work, but yeah, there were similar examples
Right.
there. So if you can, is it smart to collect, I know it's always best to just leave the money alone and let it grow, but should the person get Social Security and then can you switch to your spouse